Hello everyone, I am Mr. Sunil Kumar from the Department of Mechanical Engineering, AJIET Mangalore. I am teaching you the course Finite Element Analysis as per the video syllabus for 6th semester Mechanical Engineering students. Until now we have completed 3 modules and we were dealing with the contents of 4th module. So this is the third video in 4th module. We shall consider it as video 4.3. In the last class I have taught you about the different finite element formulations that are applicable for 1D heat conductions in uh, composite walls or simply walls. In this class, we shall deal about analysis of walls. The heading itself shows 1D heat transfer in composite wall of two elements. Two elements means there are two different walls given. This figure shows a composite wall. This is one wall. This is the other wall, which is composite at the center, which means they are having contact, the physical contact for which conduction is applicable. So the two walls are made of different materials, which is given by its own conductivity. So the conductivity of the wall 1 is 6 watt per meter degree centigrade. At the same time, the conductivity of wall 2 is K2, that is 20 watt per meter degree centigrade. The dimension of the wall is 0.06 meter and the wall 2 is 0.02 meter. The heat is flowing in this direction. It is 20 degree centigrade. At the right end, there is end convection given. Only the right end is having, only the right surface, the right end is having the convection with the convective coefficient of 1000 watt per meter degree centigrade. Now, this is T1, and one more thing is given, the ambient temperature minus 5 degree centigrade means the temperature of the surrounding at the convection is minus 5 degree centigrade. Now we have to find the temperature at this point and at this point. So for the finite element formulation, we will consider this two material composite wall into two elements. That is, we can take 1D elements or 2D elements. So since heat is flowing in one direction, we can take 1D element. And the finite element model is as shown. This is the 1D element. So since there are two materials, two walls, that is, the first wall is taken as element 1, the second wall is taken as element 2, we have to take two elements because there is material discontinuity. So this is node 1 and node 2, which is belong to the element 1. Node 2 and node 3 is belong to element 2. Node 2 is common for both the nodes, both the elements. T1 is the temperature at node 1, which is given 20 degrees centigrade. T2 we have to find and T3 we have to find. Here temperature is the variable. T1, T2, T3 are the temperatures. They are known as variables. We have to find T2 and T3, the nodal temperatures. Now, every temperature, the T1 and ambient temperature is given in degree centigrade. The T1 and ambient temperature is given in degree centigrade. Conductivity is given in watt per meter degree centigrade. The dimension is in meter. So we shall keep all the units in meter and degree centigrade. We shall keep all the units in meter and degree centigrade and go for further survey. As I told, T1 is given, that is 20 degree centigrade. So it can be taken as 413 Kelvin. T alpha, that is ambient temperature, is minus 5 degree centigrade. No need to convert it to Kelvin because K1 and K2 and H, everything is given in centigrade only. When it is given in centigrade, no need to convert it to Kelvin. Now K1 is given the material property of the first element, K2 is given the material property of the second element. Since area is not given, we have to consider this is cross sectional area, not the surface area, or it is not the area of the plane which we can observe. It is the cross sectional area. Cross sectional area. Cross sectional area is assumed to be 1 meter square. When area is not given, this is the very important point. This is very important point. When area is not given, we have to consider area, cross sectional area as 1 meter square. I am talking about cross sectional area. We have to take it as unit area. Now H is convectivity. It is watt per meter square degree centigrade. It's not watt per meter degree centigrade. It's watt per meter square centigrade. Now we shall keep the units in centigrade and watts and dimension in meters. So as in case of bars, the analysis is to find out the conductivity matrix, as I told in the earlier class. So I already told in the earlier class, we will initially go with conductivity matrix. This matrix is the conductivity matrix. Generally we will not call it as stiffness matrix, though it is mentioned here. We will call it as conductivity matrix. Conductivity matrix. In bars it is AE by LE 1 minus 1 minus 1 1, but in heat transfer it is AK by LE 1 minus 1 minus 1 1. Now since we have two elements, it is determined for two elements. For element 1, K1, that is the conductivity matrix is AK by LE. A is taken as 1. A is taken as 1. K is K1. K1 is the conductivity of the first element. It is 6. We have to write 6. Now L is 0.06 meter. L is what? 0.06 meter. L is 0.06 meter. This is 0.06 meter, which is shown here. That is L. This is L1 and this is L2. Now 6 is the conductivity of element 1. 1 is area. This is the length. 0.06. 1 minus 1 minus 1. It becomes 100 into 1 minus 1 minus 1 1. So let us keep 100 as it is. Let us keep 100 as it is. Or we can write 100 minus 100 minus 100 100. Similarly for element 2 it will be 20 is the conductivity of element 2, which is given here. 1 is the unit area and 0.02 is the length, as I have shown earlier. So it becomes 1000. So we can write 1000 minus 1000 minus 1000 1000. See, so the global conductivity matrix now becomes K1 plus K2. Global conductivity matrix now becomes K1 plus K2. Now at each node there is degree of freedom is 1. At each node degree of freedom is 1. At this node degree of freedom is 1. At this node degree of freedom is 1. At this node degree of freedom is 1. There is only one dimensional heat transfer at each node. Now since there are 3 nodes overall, the global stiffness matrix size will be 3 cross 3. Since there are 3 nodes, the global stiffness matrix size will be 3 cross 3. So the global stiffness will be of the size 3 cross 3. Element 1 is having the degrees of freedom 1 2 1 2. Element 2 is having the degrees of freedom 2 3 2 3. So only this center term is added. This center term, which means only this term is added with this term. This 100 is added with this 1000, which becomes 1100. Otherwise, everything is written same. Degrees of freedom 1, 2, and 3. Okay, these first two and these two belongs to element 1. and these two, and these two belongs to element 2. Only this term will belongs to both element 1 and element 2. The only that is why it is added. Now this member, the given member is insulated here, insulated at this position, because there is no surface convection. It is insulated all over here, but convection is happening only here. Convection is happening only at the end. It is only at the end convection. Insulation is provided here and as well as here. Convection is happening only at the end. It is end convection problem. So since there is end convection, we will write convection matrix. We will write convection matrix KH. Convection matrix KH. It is given stiffness just for understanding purpose. It is convection matrix KH. It is A into H. A is cross sectional area for end cross section. H is the conductivity of the material, conductive coefficient. Since I am taking globally, considering both the elements, the global degree of freedom is 3 cross 3. We have to write 3 cross 3 matrix. In the earlier class, I have explained you about only one element. Here there are two elements of global degrees of freedom 3 cross 3. That is why this is 3 cross 3 matrix. And since right end is having convection, we will add one. We will write 1 here. If left hand is having convection, that 1 is written here and this becomes 0. So since right hand is having convection, we will write 1 here. This is convective matrix. Now we have to add this matrix and this matrix. We have to add this matrix and this matrix. This addition can be done now or later at equilibrium condition. So the convective matrix will be after substituting A into H. A is 1, H is 1000. So that 1000 is written here. Now we will move on to the force vector. The force vector is due to convection. The force vector will be due to 3 reasons. The force vector will be due to 3 reasons. Those 3 reasons will be: number 1, due to end convection. The second one is due to surface convection. And the third one is due to internal heat generation. In this problem, only end convection is given. There is only convection at the right end. Only end convection is given. Therefore, we will consider only end convection. So the force vector due to end convection is AHT infinity or T alpha, the ambient temperature, the surface, the temperature of the surrounding, it is minus 5 degrees centigrade, which means it is the cooling temperature, the lowest temperature. Now heat will reduce. The temperature at node 1 is 20 degrees centigrade. At node 2 it will reduce. At node 3 it will reduce. Okay, now the temperature of the surrounding is minus 5 degrees centigrade. A is not surface area, it is cross sectional area. This is convective coefficient. This is temperature of the surrounding 001. It is 001. 1 is written here. Since I am taking globally, it is 001 for both the elements. Since right end is subjected to convection, I am writing 1 here. Since right hand is subjected to convection, I am writing 1. So A H T alpha 001, it becomes 0 and minus 5000. So since there is only one force vector, that itself is the global force vector. There is no other types of convection or internal heat generation. There is no other types of forces applied. Now we will move on to equilibrium condition. Equilibrium condition is what? K into T is equal to F. Equilibrium condition is K into T is equal to F. Here it is written K into T plus KH into T is equal to F. This K conduction matrix and this K convection matrix can be added earlier or at this position. So this is the conduction matrix having multiplied with the temperature variable matrix. This is the convection matrix. After addition it becomes this the global vector for equilibrium. So into T1, T2, T3 into T1, T2, T3 is equal to the force vector 0, 0 minus 5000. So this is the expression for equilibrium of the system. Now we have to apply boundary condition and eliminate the things and find out the temperature. Here elimination is quite different. It is not like structural problem whether it is fixed or supported, roller supported. Okay, here the boundary condition is little different. Let me check. Let me teach you about. Now, how to apply boundary condition? How to apply boundary condition? Since T1 is given, okay, since T1 is given, observe this second row. Observe this second row and observe this third row. Observe this third row. Third row is having first element as 0. The third row is having first element as 0. First element as 0. The first element of third row is 0. If we make first element of second row as 0, if we make first element of second row as 0, we will remain with only these two and these two and these two, which is unknown. Since T1 is known, please listen carefully. Since T1 is known, which is 20 degrees centigrade, we will try to eliminate first row and first column. We will try to eliminate first row and first column. Since T1 is given, we will try to eliminate first row and first column. First row can be eliminated, but first column cannot be eliminated because it contains this element. Thus, that element, if we make it as 0, we will reduce to two equations with two unknowns. If this element is not made 0, we will not have that second row equation with two unknowns. We will have three unknowns. So if we make this number, this particular element of the matrix as 0, we will reduce to only two unknowns with two equations. How to do that? Let us consider this second row. Second row, I will now multiply the matrix. Second row, minus 100 into T1, plus 1100 into T2, minus 1000 into T3. That is what written here. Will be equal to 0. Will be equal to the second one. Second row we are dealing with. Minus 100 T1 plus 1100 T2 minus 1000 T3 will be equal to 0. Since we know T1, we will substitute T1 here. Since we know T1, we will substitute T1. T1 is 20. Then it becomes 2000. This 2000, if we just take to right side, then we will remain with the equation having only two unknowns. Then we will remain with the equation having only two unknowns, which is 1100 T2 minus 1000 T3 is equal to 2000 is the equation. So now this second row can be replaced with this term, this equation. Both the equations are same. This equation is same as this equation. Therefore, this second row can be replaced with this equation where there is no T1 term. Where there is no T1 term. Thus, now we can eliminate first row and first column because this term we have taken as 0 and we have filled here 2000. In place of 0 it becomes 2000. So we have remained with these two and these two elements of that matrix. So 1000 100 minus 1000 minus 1000 2000 into T2 T3. First one first column is eliminated. First one first column is eliminated. Remaining thing is written. T1 is also not there. Into 2 unknowns is equal to, in place of 0 we have to write this one as I told. So it is 2000 minus 5000. Now there are two unknowns and two equations. So solving is very easy now. This is elimination method. One more method is there, penalty method. I will explain in the next class. So this is elimination method. There are two equations, two unknowns. That is why we can find T3 as 0.833 degree centigrade, T2, and T3 as minus 2.916 degree centigrade. Now we have to check this answer. We have to check it. We know T1 it is 20 degree centigrade. Since T alpha, which is surrounding temperature, is minus 5 at the right end, T2 should be lesser than T1. T2 should be lesser than T1. And T3 should be lesser than T2. And T3 should be lesser than T2. But it should be greater than T alpha, that is minus 5.